Times Square in New York looked more like Tahrir Square in Cairo as thousands showed up to protest the embattled president of Egypt and his entire regime. On a somber note, protesters stood in silence as the names of those killed during the protests in Egypt were read aloud, but the energy quickly shifted. Anti-Mubarak and pro-democracy signs filled the chilly air as the crowd chanted slogans and sang the Egyptian national anthem. With passion and pride for the people of Egypt, protesters had strong messages to send to Hosni Mubarak.
Out! 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 We need somebody new, you know?
I want Hosni Mubarak to leave. We want democracy, we want rights, we want regular human rights. We want bread, we want clean water to drink. That's why we're here.
A man who cares about his country does not send thugs to kill his people. That's not a real president. You deserve to be in jail. That's where you deserve, not up there.
Similar protests around the world have been organized to show solidarity with the people of the largest Arab nation.
This is a global phenomenon of people standing with the Egyptian people and joining with them their demand for Mubarak out and the end of his whole repressive dictatorship. The whole regime has to leave.
The protesters here are not only calling for Mubarak and his regime to step down, but they're also calling for the U.S. to stop funding the dictator.
I don't support American foreign policy, and I feel as this is a way that I can make myself heard.
And we call on our own government, who has been the mainstay of the support for this brutal dictatorship, to end the support of Mubarak and this whole grouping, to end the military aid, to end the support to the police forces, to pull U.S. troops, which are in Egypt, out of Egypt.
I believe that democracy should be real, and it shouldn't be the hypocrisy that the United States projects around the world, and yet they have a history of supporting dictators. So to see the Egyptian people rise up the way they have, they're setting a shining example for all oppressed people around the world. And this government, I don't want them using my taxpaying dollars to give the Mubarak regime another penny.
Charles Barron, a New York City council member, has been to Egypt on his way to deliver aid to Gaza.
I think the United States overly protects Israel, and they could care less about Egyptian life, any Arab life. They prioritize Israel. And no matter how much state-sponsored terrorism Israel engages in, they never call it terrorism.
The Obama administration is currently encouraging Mubarak to step down, but to keep the same regime in power in Egypt. Ihab Zahariya, Press TV, New York.